Would you like to live longer? The perfect example of this is Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is 78 years old. The average person born in 1947 is dead. If you're the type of person who wants to be playing golf when you're 75, if you're the type of person who wants to be playing on the floor with your grandkids and not stuck, sick, and out of shape, then this is the video for you. I'm going to cover 5 science backed strategies that you can use to live longer, live better, and drastically improve your quality of life. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, my name's Andrew Marsham. I'm the founder and CEO of the High Performance Health Program. We've been in business for over 7 years and helped over 1,700 one-to-one clients. I've personally coached around 400 to 500 one-to-one clients. And I've been training in the gym for almost 15 years. I went from 120 pounds skinny fat to 165 to 170 pounds at sub 10 to 12% body fat. So I've gained about 50 pounds in the last 15 years or so of lean quality mass. So the first part is probably obvious to most, but it's probably one of the most overlooked parts in the general population, and it's strength training. If you are not strength training, you are categorically going to have a lower quality of life. Strength training is the second highest, most predictive number with regards to your length of life. What does that mean? So, if, for example, you take person A and they don't strength train, and you take person B, they have a 3.5 or 350% lower risk of death at any time if they are in the elite range for strength, their age. That means if you get strong, you reduce your risk of dying at any time by around 350% at any point. That is crazy. To put this into context, smoking is around 40% difference. And we all know how bad smoking is for you. So being weak is significantly worse for you than being a smoker. So strength training is the first thing you need to get in place. But what do you need to do? Like, how many days should you train? What exercises should you be doing? What should you be focusing on? What's right? What's wrong? The key here is getting started. Start with something that's reasonable for you. There is no right answer. My recommendation is 3 times a week, 30 to 60 minutes as a starting point. Now, should you do body weight? Should you do machines, free weights? Do them all. The easiest, simplest plan is the one that the most successful plan is the one that you're going to stick to. You have to be able to stick to it. If you cannot get into a gym, then figure out how to do body weights, maybe some resistance bands, or pick up some dumbbells off Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something like that that you can use at home. A lot of our clients have in-house facilities where they've built a home gym. Great. Use the equipment you have available. 3 days per week, 30 to 60 minutes. Pick 4 to 6 compound exercises. You do not need 200 exercises. This is a huge mistake I see so many people making. They try to overcomplicate things. They see a fancy exercise on Instagram, this new, quote unquote, life-changing workout program over here that looks great from someone who's in amazing shape. The reality is the same boring exercises that worked 50 years ago work today. Squat, press, pull, push, row, the basics. Get 4 to 6 of those, put a plan in place that you can do comfortably, put a plan in place, track the weight you use, and get better over time. It's as simple as that. And if you do that for, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks, then you can change up the exercises. Changing things every week, for example, is a very bad idea. And again, it's something we see a lot of people doing, but there's absolutely no need to do it. And it's actually a pretty shitty idea in terms of progressive overload. You need to get better, you need to improve, and you need to give yourself some time to adapt. If you're not strength training, you will die sooner and you will have a lower quality of life than you could potentially have had. This isn't up for debate, it's black and white. The second part is probably the piece that I have implemented most in the last few years. I really took this to heart from Peter Attia's advice in his book, Outlive. This was something that I had missed out on for years. I hadn't done it. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I can tell you from doing this, that the quality of my life has drastically improved. And the quality of my life was great before. But even I have, who would be defined as elite in terms of strength and muscle mass for my age and for my height, even I seen a massive benefit to this. So what is it? It's something called your VO2 max. Remember I said that you had a 350% lower risk of all-cause mortality or death at any time from being strong? The same applies here with VO2 max, although it's even higher. It's around 400%. So that's a 4x, which is, again, even more mind-blowing. So what is VO2 max? It's basically the ability of your body to use oxygen. Your fitness level is probably a basic way to look at it. And you can improve it doing many things. Any form of cardiovascular exercise is going to improve it. Even slight strength training will probably improve it if you're starting from a place of being unfit. But you really do want to build in some dedicated cardio training if you want to maximize longevity. And that's if you want to maximize. It's not an absolute must. Activity, walking are things that are great. And I think strength training is probably the more important for fall risks and things like that in the long term. But a dedicated 1 to 2 sessions per week is a great place to start. Again, it depends how much time you have here, but if you can do longer, great. Start with maybe 15-minute interval sessions. If you can do a minute on, a minute off, really high pace, a minute of 8 out of 10 effort, a minute of 2 out of 10 effort where you're just getting your breath back, and repeat that for 15 minutes, that's going to be a really good use of time. We work with a lot of busy professionals, executives, physicians, guys who don't have a lot of time. So really making sure that you're being effective with your time is key. My probably favorite one to give to clients is something called the Norwegian 4x4. This is 4 minutes on at the highest pace you can sustain, followed by 4 minutes recovery. Repeat that 4 times with a warm up and a cool down either side, 5 minutes. It's about a 45-minute workout, so it is longer and it is very challenging. If you're very unfit and you haven't ran or done cardio or biked or anything like that in a long time, you want to ease yourself into this. Walk first, do some jogging, some light cycling, build up a little bit of a base. Then you can go into the more challenging things like 4x4, etc. But the key here is you sustain the pace for 4 minutes. It's not all out for 1 minute and then just fall off a cliff. You want to be able to sustain that pace for 4 minutes and then repeat the cycle. You can do this in any piece of cardio equipment, running, biking, rowing. My preferred method personally is running, but a lot of people don't like running, or maybe you've got, dodgy knees or something like that. So you can always cycle as well. It doesn't really matter. Again, improve over time, track that number. You can do something called a Cooper's test, and that will really help you track and measure and improve that number over the course of time. The third piece ties into activity. And again, with the modern age, sitting has really become what would be termed the new smoking. Sitting and being sedentary is an independent risk factor for heart disease, for mortality, for cancer. Basically, what that means is you can do everything right outside being sedentary. And if you still are sedentary, then there's an increased risk. It's like the comparison here would be you train in the gym, you eat well, you sleep well, but you smoke. All of those things are good, but you still have the independent risk factor of smoking. The same is true for sitting. Get up and walk around. Go for a walking meeting. Try and build activity into your day. Take a walk at lunch break. Take your family out a walk in the evening. If you watch sports or something like that and you like chilling out, buy a walking pad and put it in the house. One of the best investments I've made in the last couple of years is a walking pad that we just sit in the living room. It's there, it's ready to go. If we're watching a show at night, then I can put it on and walk at 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour for 30 minutes. I easily get 3,000, 4,000 steps in over the course of a show. Over the course of 1 or 2 episodes, I've seen myself rack up 8 to 10 and, just walk for an hour to an hour and a half because it's just so easy to do. But that's really, really key. The fourth part here is sleep. The vast majority of people in the Western world are underslept. The vast majority of people worldwide are underslept, especially in the US. There's very high output towards work and profession and things like that. And a huge number of people are underslept. So getting your sleep right is key. And there's a couple of things that I like to think through and a couple of frameworks that I use that keep me on track. The first part is using what's called the 3-2-1 method. That means 3 hours before bed, you stop eating. 2 hours before bed, you stop drinking. 1 hour before bed, you cut out any screens. I like to read, stretch, relax, go in a warm shower, something like that in the hour before. But my preferred is actually reading a hard physical book. If you can do that, you effectively wind down very well. The second part of this is waking up and going to bed at the same time. This is extremely powerful. If you go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on weekends, you get into a very consistent rhythm. You get into a rhythm of feeling energized at the same times. You're able to get to sleep really quickly. Your sleep latency is low, which means you fall asleep quickly, you stay asleep deeply, and you perform well during the day at the better times also. So really, really give this a try. I know it's harder to do on weekends, but when I'm performing at my best, it's always, always, always when I'm sleeping in a consistent sleep-wake cycle. Let's touch on the final point, nutrition. Big one, huge variety. There is no right answer. There are a few things that are absolutely true. And again, most people overthink this. They look into it too much. They focus on what diet works best. The only thing that matters is what you can stick to long term. Because if you can't stick to something, what is the point? It's a complete and utter waste of time. So you have to look at it in this hierarchy. Based on the research, this is what's most important. The first piece is calories. If you're not eating an energy balance, which means you're gaining weight or losing a drastic amount of weight for that matter when you're already lean, that's a problem. So you need to find something that allows you to stay in calorie balance, either getting your weight down into a healthy place or maintaining your weight at a healthy place. That's step number one. We've seen all the documentaries, things like the McDonald's diet, etc. The Twinkie diet was one as well, where people went on these crazy diets of terrible food for a month, 2 months, lost a bunch of weight, and all of their health metrics improved. Being overweight and obese is incredibly damaging to your health. It's terrible for you. It increases your risk of every disease, cancer, your risk of death, everything. Everything is worse. So if you can find a diet that isn't perfect, but allows you to maintain a healthy weight and body composition, that's what we're looking for, because you're never going to get perfect. So step one is get calories right. The second part is getting adequate protein. The goal here should be about 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. That means if you're a male and your ideal target is 170 to 180, you should probably be looking at 170 to 180 grams of protein per day. Now, if you're 250 and you're eating 50 to 60 grams, it's just not enough. And the change that I have seen in people from just eating enough protein on a daily basis is crazy. Improvements to body composition, crazy changes to satiety and hunger, real improvements to muscle mass and body composition overall, losing fat and feeling full all the time. We're all familiar with Ozempic and the GLP-1s and these drugs that are available just now. They work through the GLP-1 pathway, which protein secretes when you eat it. That means it makes you feel full the same way as the GLP-1s make you feel full. So get more protein in. Have a source at every single meal. Breakfast, eggs, protein shake. I like chicken sausage as well. Maybe some low-fat Greek yogurt. Lunch, chicken, fish, steak, salad. With a salad, that is. Salad doesn't have that much protein in it. Dinner, the same. Aim for 30 to 40 grams at your main meals and try and get 20 to 50 grams in through snacks. A whey protein shake is a great way to do this conveniently. Again, we work with a lot of busy people. So if you're a busy professional, if you're an exec, a physician who's running between appointments or meetings and you struggle to get this in, then just use supplementation. The whey protein is a great supplement you can add in. Jerky sticks are another favorite of mine. Even low-fat cheese and the low-fat cheese strings can be good as well. Get enough protein. The third is getting enough fiber. This is going to come mostly through fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Things like oats are a good example, sweet potato, and then almost every fruit and veg is going to have sufficient fiber. My target and my framework to think through this is 1 at each meal, minimum, and then 1 with snacks. So, for example, if I have breakfast, I may have some blackberries with some eggs. Or I may have an omelette with mushroom, onion, spinach, something like that. Lunch, maybe a salad. Dinner, I may have some carrots on the side. I may have some tomatoes or some roast peppers, or maybe some potatoes, something along those lines. And I like fruit throughout the day. I'll have fruit at multiple points. I'll probably eat 3 to 5 pieces of fruit per day and a couple of portions of vegetables. I just like salad bags. You throw them on the plate, you throw some low calorie Italian seasoning or something like that on, our balsamic dressing, and you're literally done. It's the easiest, simplest way to get a decent amount of veg in with almost no effort. So those are the frameworks. If you follow them, if you improve those, if you follow those frameworks consistently, you will live longer, you will live better. If you want some help in putting these frameworks into place, if you're stuck, if you don't know what to do, if you're a busy executive, a busy professional, a physician who just doesn't know what to eat, how much, and when, maybe you just need some accountability, then we can help. Since 2018, we've helped over 1,700 clients, almost 2,000, lose weight, get in shape, and we do it around your schedule. So if you're looking for a custom plan that's built around you, delivered by coaches with at least 15 years of experience, I think the average age of our coaching team is just over 40, then we can help. Click the link in the description, fill out the form, book a call, and we'll see you on the other side.